Severe weather leaves behind serious damage in this apartment community. Tonight, hear from the people who rode out the storm.
How a local dog is credited for rescuing a woman who was outside in a nearby pond.
Business is booming inside Grady Hospital's mobile emergency department, and that's not good. No let up in the flu.
Live from Atlanta, 11Alive at 5 starts now.
But first, though, we are just hours away from the first competition at the Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea.
It is the moment these athletes they've been training for their entire lives. And of course, 11Alive is the only local station giving you exclusive behind-the-scenes access to all the events and all of the celebrations, with Cheryl Preheim making the trek from Atlanta to South Korea.
She joins us now live. Cheryl, I bet you are very cold but very excited about the competition, just about ready to get underway. It is now Thursday morning.
No question about it. 4 degrees, wind chill of a -7, but there's still great energy here in Olympic Park. This is Gangneung Olympic Park, one of 2 Olympic parks. We're very close to the East Sea, the ocean around the Korean Peninsula. There's another park in the mountains. That's where the skiers will be racing. And right now, USA skier Lindsey Vonn's in a race she wants nothing to do with. She is frantically trying to get to South Korea before the opening ceremony, but her flights continue to get delayed over the last 24 hours. The latest update is that they have flight attendants willing to work overtime to try to get her here. She does not want to miss opening ceremony. She has said this will be her final Olympic Games, so we'll keep you posted on that. Here we are, even before the official start of the Games, and things are already so different. For one, the political climate between North and South Korea have played such a prominent role in the lead up to the Games, and over the last few hours, more of the North Korean delegation has come to Olympic Park. These are 2 countries that have been technically at war since the 1950s. The other difference, everything's ready. And it has been for a long time. There's no mad scramble to hang up banners, finish venues, or try to pump water into the athlete village.
The preparations we're seeing around Olympic Park are the finishing touches that had to be done here in the final days before opening ceremony. Other than that, everything was done months ago. And the park is beautiful. There's lots of color and artistic elements. One of my favorites is the huge sculpture of an ice skate. The detail in the silver skate is so impressive when you look really closely. It's made up of images of skaters within that boot. You can see it from almost anywhere in Olympic Park. On the back of the skate, an LED screen that's constantly updating with new video from the Olympics. In the next week, I'll take you all around the park and show you all of the venue.
And we will also be following all the athletes for you. Our Georgia athletes, Chris Kinney and Alana Myers-Taylor, are here right now. We're also going to take you along on adventures to cultural and historic sites here in South Korea, from the fish market to the temples to our exclusive visit to the border of North Korea. We'll have more of that in the coming days. Looking forward to all of that, Melissa and Ryan. It's really been a tremendous start to the Games. Competition starts actually this evening, Korean time. We're going to start with team pairs figure skating and curling and luge. So here we go.
Yeah. Big time.
And I wish we could spend a lot more time talking to you, but we have to get to other news. But we're going to see a lot of you over the next couple of weeks.
All right. Thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you. 11alive.com. We have you covered for the Olympics. You can find everything from the competition schedule to the medal count, biographies for our local athletes, plus look for updates from Cheryl on Facebook as she is documenting her journey in South Korea.
We're going to move to some disturbing news out of DeKalb County. A very serious alert. Police are searching tonight for the man seen here after they say he abducted a 14-year-old girl yesterday as she was walking to school. The victim is a student at Miller Grove High School. She told investigators the man forced her into his vehicle. He then drove away and later let her out near the high school in Lithonia. Now, in December of last year, 3 other female students all reported similar encounters with a man fitting that exact same description. We're going to show you his photo one last time. We've also posted it on our Facebook page. You can share it with your family and friends and help police find him. You can also read a statement from DeKalb's superintendent about how the school district is handling this. That's all on 11alive.com. Meanwhile, Atlanta police are desperate to catch this guy. He's wanted for a sexual assault back on New Year's morning. According to a police report obtained by 11Alive, the victim was passed out inside of a car at the Blue Ivory nightclub. When she woke up, she found herself inside an apartment, and she said this man was assaulting her. If you recognize him, call APD. Again, we have his sketch and the sketch of that DeKalb County suspect, both of them posted on 11alive.com.
Social media praise pouring in tonight on this pit bull. His name is Bruce. He saved a stranger's life. The dog's owner shares the miraculous story of how he forced her to listen. 11Alive's Naima Abdullahi has more.
The dog owner says her pit bull Bruce kept staring outside this window. She says she doesn't know why he was making noises or what got his attention, or that her pit bull would end up saving a woman's life right outside.
He started really emoting and whining and like just being very loud at the front door. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. So I went out, looked out the front door to investigate and opened the door, and he just kind of bolts towards this little pond right here.
And at that pond, Abby Leathers found an elderly woman in the water, half naked, confused, scared, and cold.
She didn't speak any English, so there's certainly like a language barrier there.
And after she got her out of the water, Abby called 911. Emergency crews came, and the woman's family, neighbors in her Lawrenceville community, said she had gone missing.
Just trying to assure her that everything was gonna be okay, and that I was gonna, do my best to get her home, and ran inside real quick and got a blanket, kind of wrapped her up.
The elderly woman was reunited with her family. Abby says Bruce lived up to the hero he was named after, Batman.
I always kind of knew he was a hero because, he's my best friend and saves me in little ways every day. But, yesterday he was a true superhero. He alerted me that an elderly woman was in danger, and, without him, I wouldn't have known that she was in the lake.
She hopes Bruce's story, already being shared on social media, can shatter misconceptions people have about pit bulls. Naima Abdullahi, 11Alive News.
I love that his name is Bruce.
Yes.
Not Snowy or something like that. You woke up to this mess this morning. The storms became quite severe. This is a look at some of the damage. This is in the city of Bremen. Right now, our chief meteorologist, Chris Holcomb, is tracking spotty showers. They're still lingering. We will check in with him in a moment. But first, Chris Hopper. He is live in Bremen, where that tree fell on an apartment complex. Chris?
Yeah, Melissa, this dead-end street is littered with debris tonight. It was a wild scene out here this morning as that weather blew through, and these people had to, in some cases, duck and cover as it was coming through the area. Let me show you this enormous tree. This is the most significant portion of this damage. If you look down here, you'll see that's the base of the tree. It fell across the roadway here. If we come back up this way, and you'll see that it landed on top of this apartment building where there were people inside. Now, luckily, the folks who were in this place were able to get out okay. Nobody was hurt. But as you'll see from the video that we shot this morning, there were a number of people out here after that storm came through. There was debris, limbs, trees down throughout this area here. This is Kaiser Street where this apartment community is. There's roof damage. There's a car underneath this tree. There's really a lot going on in this area. People here say they heard the tornado sirens this morning as that tornado warning came through. They got in their bathtubs and their bathrooms. They tried to find safety as much as possible as that storm blew through the area. There was actually one man who we talked to who said he went door to door trying to help his neighbors get out safely.
And the wind just opened up our door and slammed it real shut. And next thing you know, we heard like a real big noise. And I told the wife and the grandson and daughter and the boyfriend, and told everybody hit the tub, get in the tub, get in the tub, bathroom in the tub.
I woke up and I walked out the door and I just woke up to scream. They were screaming over here trying to get them out of this apartment. And then my neighbor had a trampoline and a tree on his truck. I didn't even know there was a tornado that went through. And then we started hearing the sirens. It was crazy.
Yeah, and we know that the Red Cross is here this morning helping some of the families here who aren't going to be able to go back inside for a while. As for this tree that's still on the apartment building itself, we're told that the insurance company has to come out to do their assessment before they can remove this tree. A number of people have been asking about when that's going to happen today. It has not happened yet. Hopefully it'll happen soon for these folks. Guys?
That is a lot of damage. They are really thankful that a lot of those people, as much damage they have, they're very lucky they weren't hurt. All right, we're going to move from one Chris to another. Chief Meteorologist Chris Holcomb tracking some of those leftover showers, Chris.
Yeah, you know, we were watching those storms this morning. Chesley broke into programming earlier this morning as we had those tornado warnings in effect for folks in West Georgia. The National Weather Service is going to go out tomorrow and survey the damage from what we just showed you there with Chris Hopper in Bremen. They're also going to go down into Heard County to survey some damage, and down in Middle Georgia in Talbot County, they'll be surveying the damage to determine whether or not those were actual tornadoes. We did see circulation within those storms via on Doppler radar, and so that's why they issued those warnings. That line of strong storms moved over to the east and pushed out of our area, but we're still dealing with a few lingering showers around here. Those will be tapering off as we go through the rest of the evening hours. These dots that you see here, that's where we see reports of wind damage over in West Georgia that we showed you earlier. Also along I-20 there on the Rockdale and Newton County line, we have reports of some storm damage there as well, and more of that down along the Alabama and Georgia border. There's that line of storms that move through, still pretty intense down in parts of South Georgia with a lot of lightning in association with that. But as you can see, we are in that slow process of drying out here over North Georgia. We'll just love to see those storms stay down to the south. Live look right now in Athens, where they're still dealing with wet roads from some of the showers that were lingering there in Athens for just a little bit longer. Temperatures are mild, but they're not going to be mild for long. We're still at 61, but look at this. Marietta's 55. Some of our storm trackers reporting a sharp temperature drop. Now that this front is passing through, we'll talk about what that's going to do for temperatures for the end of the week and when we'll see our next chance for rain moving our way coming up.
Thank you, Chris. There is just no let up in the big crowds of flu patients jamming Georgia's hospital ERs. This week, Grady Hospital in Atlanta reports their second highest patient load ever in a single day. And the wait times, they are down, but that's thanks to their big temporary emergency room in the parking lot. That was set up a week ago now. John Shurik is at Grady tonight, where he's been tracking the flu from the front lines.
Doctors working in Grady Hospital's new mobile emergency department here in the parking lot have been able to see about 1,000 flu patients in the first 9 days the facility has been here. That's about a quarter of all the flu patients jamming Grady's emergency department every day.
Nothing seems to be letting up.
Dr. Hani Atala, Grady's chief of emergency medicine, says the 14 additional beds in the temporary portable emergency room have cut wait times in half for the hundreds of new flu patients arriving at Grady every day.
In some cases, we've seen as much as a 3-hour drop in wait time. Our physicians are much more productive. They can see up to about 40 patients in an 8-hour shift.
That is twice as many patients as Grady doctors saw before the portable emergency room was deployed. At Kennestone Wellstar in Marietta, doctors considered installing a portable emergency room as well. But so far they have room for their record numbers of flu patients. More than 1,100 flu patients in Kennestone's emergency department this year through January 26th, compared with 151 flu patients during that same period last year, a 7-fold plus increase. Grady, the only hospital in Georgia so far that is using a portable emergency department for flu patients. The 30-day contract for the facilities costing about $200,000. A bargain, says Dr. Atala.
It's been very successful for us. As a matter of fact, this past Monday, we saw, I think it was 529 patients, which is our second highest day that we've ever had.
Grady will decide later on whether to keep the mobile emergency department beyond the initial 30 days in its contract, depending on what happens with the flu. At Grady in downtown Atlanta, John Shurik, 11Alive News.
Still to come, a Cobb County woman learns her fate, convicted of poisoning her son, a 2-year-old son. That's coming up.